Hi, this is Modesta Maigan Buguni from Purpose and Excellence. I am here working my lighting, and I always working my lighting. How are you doing today? I hope a whole lot better than you were when you started out this series with me. We're talking to people who want to bounce back from setbacks. We've had 5 days of strategies, of personal reflection, of motivation, of, you know what, been there, done that. And so I have lived through this sharing. Today is day 6. If you've been working on getting past the emotions and all the, overthinking and having to, choose to recalculate route, to go on this diversion, which is this setback, so that you can come back strong and continue on your road to your goals, you know that it has been really key for us to strategize and for us to make adjustments in our present reality so that we can manage the transition and work towards coming back to where we were or even greater. Or maybe in going through this transition, we might realize that we want something bigger, we want something better than what we had before. Actually, sometimes setbacks are a blessing in disguise. So day 6 is monitor your progress. I mean, how else will you know how well you're doing? How else will you know how far you are along to reaching your goals? It is really key in everything that we do. And I know we do this with weight, right? We get on those scales, we monitor our progress when we're dieting. But it is very important to do that in your personal development, in your career goals, in your business, to see, especially when you have a setback. Not what you initially planned for, because usually you have a nice plan, goals, strategies, you've got those actions, you've got your tactics, you've got everything that you need to put in place for you to get to your original goals. When you get a setback, you often just feel like everything is topsy-turvy, you're upside down, and you kind of let go because you think you're not in control of this, because it's a setback, because it's external, because it's something that you'd not wish for. So sometimes we go on cruise control during a setback. Sometimes it's kind of, sometimes we check out and we abandon whatever we initially pursued because now it feels uncomfortable. We distance ourselves. I don't want to be associated with that anymore. My goodness, my reputation, or my money, or my family, or my promotion, or my position, my career. I'd worked so hard for this, or my business. I put in everything I have and I borrowed some. And you just feel like, you know what? Okay. Because if I were in control, this is not what control looks like. This is not what will be happening. And so if life will happen to me, well, like, happen then. So it is important, as I've been sharing up to now, to say, this doesn't define me. What I have gone through is just part of the vicissitudes of life. Life happens to the best of us. So as I have overcome everything else in life that I've overcome to date, as I have been able to apply these principles that have seen me through where I am now, I mean, from childhood to adulthood, I can do this. This doesn't define me. This is just a bump on the road, but I'm not going to change destination. I'm not going to change, my journey and my goals and my aspirations and my dreams simply because there's a bump on the road, no matter how big the bump is. Yesterday, I shared that it's not so easy for me to say what I'm saying because I have been through bumps I can't even explain to you. And we don't even have to sit here comparing sad stories. And so get back on track, get back in control, get people who are doing this journey with you in on this as soon as you can. Hey, listen, we were doing this. This is what's happening right now. This is what it looks like. Let's strategize on how to get out of this. And let's start making adjustments in our day-to-day lives right now. In business, maybe it's an expectation that you have in your career, or as your team, you and your colleagues, or maybe it's something at home. And so you need to get your spouse or your family, whoever your family setup is, to say we need to make some adjustments, but we are not abandoning our initial pursuit. We are still going after what we wanted to, but it's just that we're in a transition. And so let's look at how to manage this transition. And part of that is, okay, so everybody's, has got hope again. Everybody believes that they're motivated. They believe that they can do it. We've got this. I'm so grateful as a leader. As the leader, you've been open, you've been vulnerable, you've been authentic. You've humbled yourself and just said, look, I come like this. This is where we're at. So what are we doing? And so you strategize now, you've got a plan, you've made adjustments, whether they're financial, whether, they're payments you had to make or the commitments you had made that you've had to adjust. Maybe you've stopped, maybe you've lessened, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's relational, you can't go anymore, you can't commit anymore, whatever it is, you've made those adjustments, you've made sure that you've communicated that to everybody. And then now you have to monitor progress. Because you had the initial plan and then you got a setback. Life happened. Now that you're working on this transitional plan, you also need to look at this. Get in the driver's seat of this thing. Look at this now and monitor your progress. So that which can be monitored daily, do that. When I work with people at executive coaching and master plan class, I work at weekly action. So you have these weekly goals and you have the freedom to look at your days and arrange them so that you can meet your weekly goals. Do that, and then you get to check. So my husband and I, we check on Fridays. Hey, how are we doing on the things that we set out to do, so that we can make whatever adjustments we need over the weekend. Sunday is heralding a new day, and Monday we hit the ground running. So do the same, whether you're doing it individually, although yesterday I said it's really key to get an accountability partner, to get somebody that you're doing whatever, or you're going through this together with, somebody you can trust, somebody you respect, and somebody who can help you pull this with you. So sit through and monitor how well you're doing. So, okay, we planned on reaching this target this week, and so what were sales like? What have we generated? What does that mean? Where do we need to tweak things? Is there a way of doing this differently? Given the fact that we have this setback, we don't have all the resources to go any harder, to go, for any more. Is there a way that we can form strategic partnerships with somebody else so that we can, hit our targets, so we can increase them? Yesterday, I really urge you to make sure whatever adjustments you're making right now as you're transitioning, they should be adjustments that you can maintain for the duration that you want to. So don't go, yes, of course, stretch yourself and do things by faith. I'm all for doing things by faith. But don't go so crazy and so hard that you cannot maintain. And those that are following you, those that are saying, okay, despite the setback, I think, he's onto something. I think she's onto something. We're gonna get back. Our leader is confident. Our leader, has drawn us in, and we're strategizing together on how to get out of this. We're implementing this new plan together. Don't make it so far-fetched. People are like, okay, there's being stretched, but this cannot be sustained. And so whatever it is you're doing, make sure as you're transitioning, whatever time frame you've given yourself, you make sure that what you're doing is manageable. Yes, it's a stretch. It will challenge you, but it is manageable for you to not just meet these goals, but get back on track on the initial thing that you got the setback on. And so you're monitoring and you're making adjustments. You're having conversations. All right, so maybe it's a career thing, and maybe you're saying, okay, since I got that review and that review wasn't what I expected, I have requested, maybe this is something, a strategy you have for now that you're in transition. You've requested to get maybe monthly feedback. And so in your monthly feedback, you're monitoring your progress. So how am I doing now? Or maybe you're doing that for somebody else on your team. And so instead of waiting quarterly and people are like, oh, what happened? I didn't know things were going so bad. Now that you're strategizing on how to get out of this, you can work at monthly. So monthly meetups. Okay, so these are the areas that you're going to work on, and you've got the skill sets, and that I see you applying yourself, doing really well in this area. We even have a peer 360 feedback coming out this way, but on this area things are not working so well. Do you know why? Do you get a feel that is so? Can you talk over what kind of challenges you're going through? And so you have this conversation, so that as you monitor your progress, it isn't just to say, am I on track, am I not on track? You can then make adjustments. Listen, this is the reality of life. I've been talking to you about setting your core values and setting boundaries. And I've been talking to you about creating plans and following them. I've been talking to you, about going hard after something. But life will happen to us daily, which then means we make daily adjustments without, of course, completely veering off our initial plan and our boundaries and our core values. But you will make daily adjustments as the situation permits, or as you see fit, or whatever it is that's happening. So equally so, when you monitor your progress, you get to ask, you get to question, you get to probe at the results you're seeing as you monitor your progress, so that you can make adjustments. So it's not just to say, great, I'm doing well, and you march on forward, because you could be doing well and you could do better maybe. And so if you ask yourself a couple of questions, and especially when you have somebody else to bounce it off of, or a couple of trusted people to bounce it off of, maybe you can together, and actually would recommend, if it's more than one person you're speaking with, do this together rather than conversation with this person, then the same conversation with another person, because you will get advice that's conflicting and you may not even know what to do. And so if you can get people together in the same room or on the same call with you, perfect. So you can ask them the same questions, and in real time, you have this healthy discussion on what to do with the results that you're monitoring on the plan that you're now executing. And so you're looking at what it is. If you're doing well, you're thinking, can we stretch ourselves to do a little bit more? After all, you do want to get back up to where you were before, right? Or even better. If things aren't going well, it's not just to say, oh my goodness, maybe this setback has completely obliterated me. Maybe I shouldn't even bother. No, it's opportunity for you to say, okay, things aren't going well, but if I can unravel this result as saying we're not doing well, which element exactly isn't doing well? Because you could find that there's some things that are doing perfectly, but this one thing is bringing the entire rating down. And so what can you do? Like I said, you can strategize about anything. Everything is figure outable. And so I know that's not a word. I think I picked that up from Marie Forleo. And so you can interrogate, analyze, go deeper into what is not working. Don't just say, oh, well, it's not working. The plan's not working. We tried, but it's not working. But what exactly is not working? Is it the people component that's not working? Is it financial? Is it the market? Is it just maybe 3 are on board and 7 are not on board? What is it? And so what can you do about that? When you monitor progress, you're also giving yourself an opportunity to really look at what is before you and to say, this setback, I can work this through. For whatever is going well and I'm progressing well as I'm monitoring performance or results, maybe I can do better, or maybe I should sustain it, not push it, just sustain it for now, and consider maybe after a quarter to try to go a little harder. If things aren't going well, not to throw in the towel and say, no, this thing is much bigger than me. Modesta, I mean, thanks for the advice, but this thing is far greater than anything I could ever imagine. No. What is not going well? Why don't you go into the analysis, look at it, go look at it, and see, is everything, truly everything not going well? Or there's some components? And even with those components that are not going well, what can you do? Surely there is something that you can do about it to salvage the situation. Now, of course, here I am speaking about career, and I'm talking about, business, and I'm talking about your personal development. And of course, because you come in context of relationship, I'm also going to talk about family. Because I am market oriented, you will hear the language that I use to be more market oriented. But this is for any area of your life at all. I mean, it could be, like I said, diet and exercise. It could, whatever it is that you're looking at. Give yourself the opportunity to monitor how well you're doing, and then whatever results you get from them, don't just say, oh yeah, good, phew, we're doing well, and march on. Oh man, it's just not working, so just kill it. It's not going to happen. No, interrogate it a little bit more. Check out what exactly these results mean, where you can do better, where you need to improve. Just yesterday, I was watching a video about Instagram and social media, and and the advice was, excuse me, right here. The advice was, can't just be posting anything, because sometimes I feel like I'm posting a bunch of stuff. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes things do really well and people are watching and they're all over it. Sometimes people could not care less. Go into the analytics. Go into the details. What is working that I can optimize, I can leverage it, I can maximize? What is not working exactly? that I can tweak. If I am going to stop, then let me stop doing that because I am informed that that isn't working. But not just out of a knee-jerk reaction, it's not working, it's not working. Make the time to monitor how you're doing, because this setbacks transition period is also a time for you to hone your skills, to hone your character, to hone the way you do things, the way you see things. Maybe one of the reasons why you got the setback that you did was because you were just not really paying attention to detail. You were not really reading the trends. You're not really looking at things as you should. And so life suddenly happened to you, and it's a wake-up call to do things differently. And monitoring progress as you plan your way up and as you're working to make adjustments that'll get you back on track helps you take time to analyze, look at things, call that which is working by name and see how to make the most of it and do more of that, or maybe invest more in that. That which isn't working, call it by name. Look, pick it apart and look at what exactly isn't working, which component of this entire thing isn't going so well, so that you can strategize. So that even if you say, I'm abandoning this, you're abandoning it informed. You're abandoning it because you know exactly why you choose not to do that, not simply because you have given up, because you feel demotivated and demoralized. I am done with today's session. I hope this series on how to bounce back from any setback is speaking to you. If it is, please do subscribe and share with others. I am on a journey. I am on a quest to equip 100 million African leaders. One of the people that I work with, had this conversation with me. She said, "Modesta, 100 million is a lot of people. That's a crazy number." I said, "Yes, I know. And I'm going to dedicate my life to do that." So whether we get to meet one-on-one, whether we're doing social media like this, or it's a book I've written, however it is, or maybe an interview that you see somewhere, a TED Talk, I don't know. However it is that I can meet you, that I can reach you and equip you and, help you be set up as best as you can to drive market results with excellence, I am here. So it's purpose and excellence, and I'm Modesta Mahiga Mbuguni, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue on this series on how to bounce back from any setback. Much love until then. Keep well.